everyone. Welcome to the Culture Competency Workshop for Occupational Therapists. My name is Margaret Atta, and this is my co-host.
My name is Mariam Beji.
So, to view the recorded link of this workshop, kindly click on the link below. So let's start with some icebreaker. The purpose of this icebreaker is to facilitate discussions on diversity and commonalities through UNO games.
So here we will introduce the icebreaker as a fun and interactive way to explore cultural diversity. So for that, we will use UNO cards, and each color in UNO will represent a specific aspect of culture. So each UNO card color will have a specific meaning. For example, the blue is going to be for cultural traditions, red for language, green for customs, yellow for family dynamics. And then we will ask you to find others with the same color card and form groups accordingly. And so each group should consist of participants with the same color card. So once the groups are formed, you will be asked to discuss and share your personal experiences related to the cultural aspects represented by the color that you have on your card. And after a set period, every group will share one or two key insights or stories that emerge during their discussions. Basically, this icebreaker will serve as like more casual and enjoyable way for participants to continue connecting over shared cultural themes. So as participants play, they will try to keep the conversation flowing, sharing more about their cultural background during the game. And so at the end, everyone will reflect on what they have learned about their peers' cultures and how this understanding can be applied in their work as occupational therapists. So here we're gonna start a little game, me and Margaret. So we will be having cards, and we will pick randomly one card each. And so you want to start, Margaret?
Yeah, I picked the blue card. What about you?
Oh, I'm also getting a blue card.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it looks like we both having blue cards, which means we're going to discuss cultural traditions. That's interesting.
Very
So
interesting.
what cultural traditions are important for you, Margaret?
So, in my culture, for instance, we have this festival we celebrate annually called the Abuashwe Festivals, where men in my community go and hunt for a deer. So when they bring the deer to the community, it is shared among every family in the community. We cook and various meals with it and then feast on it. And I really love that tradition because I have so many varieties of food to enjoy.
That's wonderful.
What about you, Marianne? Do you have any culture and traditions that you want to share?
Oh, yes. So in my culture, we also have this annual festival where we gather all together with family and prepare like traditional dishes and share stories about our ancestors and past history, things like that.
Oh, that's so interesting. I would love to experience that culture. Hmm.
And so, can you describe yourself based on what you like, Margaret?
Yeah, I'll actually describe myself as an audiophile, someone who loves to travel and experience other people's culture. It doesn't necessarily have to be international, but within the nationality. In my country, for instance, we have about 10 different regions that comes with different languages and different cultures, different dance groups. So I love visiting some of these regions to experience their culture, see how they live, see how their lifestyle is, and it has really helped me a lot. So, Maria, can you share some experiences or instances about certain person or culture?
Sure, absolutely. So, about one of my experience, there was a time when I had a coworker from a different cultural background, and I had certain preconceived notions about their communication style and work habits based on stereotypes. So I assumed that they may prefer a more reserved approach in the workplace. But so later on, as we collaborated on projects and spent more time together, I noticed that my colleague was actually quite expressive and had a dynamic way of contributing to discussions. And so it became evident that my initial assumptions were based more on stereotypes rather than the individual's actual characteristics.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And actually, I felt a mix of surprise and embarrassment. It's made me actually reflect on how easily stereotypes can cloud our judgments and hinder gaining connections with others. And
I also have an experience as well. I once had an encounter with a friend about religious belief. She had a different religious
oh,
belief
sorry to
from mine.
interrupt you, Margaret. Um, I just remembered, by the way, the reaction
US.
of the other person.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
So regarding that experience, when I later discussed with my colleague, they mentioned that they often actually encountered such assumptions, but appreciated the opportunity to break those stereotypes. So they were understanding and open to fostering a more authentic working relationship. That was just a point which I quickly forgot to mention about how what was their reaction. Yeah, what about you? Can you share a story?
yeah. Continuing with my story, I actually had an encounter with a friend who had a different religious belief from my own at that point in time. So we had a little misunderstanding about all these religious beliefs and how she felt and how I also felt about my own religious belief. But at the end of the day, we got to know I felt really embarrassed at that point, and she also felt some sense of um culture insensitive. But at the end of the day, we came together and got to know there are diverse backgrounds and diverse ways of how other people do things from others.
Oh, wow, that's an inspiring story.
Yeah. So, Mariam, what does diversity mean to you?
So
And how does it?
For me, diversity is the recognition of differences among individuals. It's more about acknowledging and respecting the unique qualities and backgrounds and perspectives and experiences that each person brings to the table. And in my opinion, I think that it goes beyond visible attributes and it encompasses a richness of ideas, thoughts, and ways of life that contribute to a more vibrant and inclusive community.
How does it look like to you? How does diversity look to you?
So in my daily life, I'm gonna say that diversity manifests itself in various ways. Evident. It's evident in the mix of cultures, languages, and traditions within my community. It's also present in the workplace where people from different backgrounds collaborate to achieve common goals. And also, additional to that, diversity is reflected on the friendship and connections I have formed like where individuals brings unique stories and perspectives that enrich my own understanding in the world as well.
Mm.
And yeah, what about you? What does diversity mean to you and how does it look to you?
So, in my understanding, my own understanding, diversity implies recognizing, respecting, and valuing differences in individuals. We all have different backgrounds and beliefs. So, it's about recognizing, it's about respecting, and it's about valuing the differences. And to me, diversity to me looks like a mixture of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, and religious beliefs. and other ideologies as well. So that's how I believe in.
That's great.
So diversity of the US population and the public health workforce. So in the US population is made up of multifaceted people, including people from Africa, Asia, Hispanic, Native American, and European descent. So there is a lot of diversity in the US, actually. So when it comes to the public health workplace, we need to take into account, or the public health workplace needs to take into account languages for efficient communication, to bridge about language barriers and make sure everybody is comfortable in their own language and be able to express themselves. We have to embrace and understand people by using translators and other people in the health workforce and other workplaces as well. Also, we need to take into consideration social economic diversity. There are a lot of people. Social economic diversity is broad. We have the more affluent people, the middle class, and the low income people. So for to comprehend health disparities, the public health workforce need to alleviate access to inequalities in healthcare, education, and our jobs as well. Yeah.
And so here we're going to talk about diversity in occupational therapy. So when we talk about diversity in occupational therapy, we're saying that everyone is different, and that's completely okay. People come from various backgrounds, they speak different languages, have different abilities, and belongs to different cultures. And so in therapy, we want to respect and include all these differences. It's like knowing that each person um, has their own unique story, beliefs, and things that are important to them. So the therapist's job is to understand and appreciate all these differences in order to provide the best help possible. So basically, when an occupational therapist is working with someone, they take the time to learn about that person. This means understanding where they come from, what language they prefer to speak, and what things are important to them. For example, if someone is from a different culture, the therapist may want to know about their traditions and values, because these things can be important in planning how to help them feel better and also do the things they want to do.
So occupational therapists play a vital role in assisting individuals in all ages to maintain, regain, and then improve their ability to perform daily living and working activities. Maria, can you tell us some of the roles of occupational therapists?
Sure. So occupational therapists, like you said, they play a vital role in the healthcare system. And here,
Yes.
so we have some key aspects of their role and the importance of their work. So in pediatrics, occupational therapists, they support children in developing essential skills for learning, playing, and socializing. They work with children facing developmental delays, and not just children, people from different ages. They help them with their developmental delays, sensory processing issues, and other challenges. And also, they address mental health challenges by helping individuals develop coping skills, manage stress, and engage in activities that contribute to emotional well-being. Go ahead.
They also help in managing chronic diseases like arthritis and diabetes. And then occupational therapists also helps in the rehabilitation and the recovery processes of health people who have gone through disabilities, people who have gone through accidents or something. So they also help in that. So, Maria, what is culture competency in your own words?
So for
What
me,
is culture?
Mm-hmm. Cultural competency, I think it's like having a superpower that helps us understand and appreciate everyone around us, no matter where they are from or what they believe. It's like being a friendly explorer in a big, diverse world, ready to learn about different customs, traditions, and way of doing things. And what about you? What is cultural competency?
To me, cultural competency is the ability of systems and the individuals to interact and provide care to individuals with diverse values, beliefs, behaviors, and including tailoring delivery to meet the social, culture, and linguistic needs of individuals as well. Do you know any roles of cultural competency?
Yeah, so earlier when I mentioned about having that superpower that helps us understand and appreciate everyone. So
Yeah.
why it basically is this superpower so special? Well, think about your favorite team. Imagine if everyone on the team played the same way, it would be kind of boring, right? So
Exactly.
cultural competency is like having players with different skills and making the team more exciting and successful. And it's the same in life. When we understand and respect each other's differences, we make the world a more interesting and harmonious place. What about you?
I believe cultural competency brings about respect and trust among individuals in various diversity. Because if we understand ourselves, we understand what cultural competency really is. Each and every one of us will respect everyone's belief, everyone's traditions, everyone's culture. Yeah.
So here in this slide, we will be talking about the importance of cultural competency, um, uh, of a culturally competent workforce. This is very important because first, it is essential for managing and resolving conflicts within teams. Professionals who are aware of cultural differences are better equipped to navigate potential misunderstandings and promote harmonious team dynamics. And also, in a globalized world, business benefits from a culturally competent workforce in a way that it can lead to better international collaborations. And also, the third point is that culturally competent providers, they can contribute to reducing health disparities because by understanding actually the cultural factors influencing health behaviors and access to care, those professionals, they can work toward addressing and eliminating disparities in health outcomes among various demographic groups. And the last point is that professionals who are culturally competent are better equipped to navigate language barriers, understand nonverbal cues, and adopt communication styles to meet the needs of individuals from different clinical backgrounds.
So, the importance of culture competency among occupational therapists. I believe occupational therapists is very important and they play a vital role in our healthcare industry by assisting individuals of all ages maintain, regain, and improve their ability to perform their daily lives. Culture competency in occupational therapists also strengthen the trust and respect in therapeutic relationships. It also reduces health disparities, as you mentioned earlier. Occupational therapists who are actually culturally competent can address and reduce health disparities that exist among culture and other ethnic groups as well. Culture competency also enriches therapists' expertise, fostering professional development as well.
And so here, regarding the impacts of cultural competency on occupational therapists, it is very profound, influencing various aspects of their practice. First, cultural competency ensures that occupational therapists are equipped to navigate the different values and beliefs, like we said earlier. And this understanding is very important for conducting interventions that are not only clinically effective, but also culturally sensitive. And so by respecting the cultural context of each person, occupational therapists, they can create treatment plans that align with the unique needs and preferences of their clients, which in turn can enhance the therapeutic relationship. And the second point is that cultural competency, it can help in reducing health disparities, and this contributes to a more equitable healthcare system by making sure that occupational therapy services are accessible to everyone.
Good. So some of the challenges in managing diversity among occupational therapists. Mariam, what are some of the challenges, if you don't mind?
Sure. So I'm going to talk about, I'm going to pick the religious consideration. Okay. I think this this can be tricky for occupational therapists because when it comes to helping people from different backgrounds, some clients may have special beliefs or practices related to their religion, and that can affect their approach to therapy. And so it can be a challenge for therapists to understand and respect those beliefs while providing the best care. For example, certain religious practices may influence a person's daily routines or impact their choices about treatment options. And so occupational therapists, they need to be aware of these differences. The other challenge which I will talk about is interpersonal interaction issues, because establishing rapport and trust with clients from different backgrounds can be challenging sometimes. And so therapists, they have to navigate interpersonal dynamics influenced by cultural variations in order to foster effective therapeutic relationship. What about you? Can you cite some challenges?
Yeah, I believe language barriers is one of the main challenges in managing diversity. So when there is communication difficulties, it's difficult to interact with individuals with specific languages, which could lead to misunderstanding sometimes as well. And resistance to change is also another factor. Individuals may resist change due to the fear of the unknown outcomes or comfort in current practices. Yeah.
So for some of the strengths, while managing diversity among occupational therapists present some challenges, it can also bring some invaluable strengths. For example, enhanced empathy and understanding. So occupational therapists who have experienced or learned about various cultures, they can bring higher level of empathy and understanding to their interaction with clients. And this understanding, it can strengthen therapeutic relationships and contributes to positive outcomes. And then the second point regarding broader outreach and community engagement, a diverse occupational therapy team, they can have connections and insights into different communities. And this can enhance the visibility and accessibility of occupational therapy services with the diverse populations.
And also, I believe improved communication leads to better healthcare outcomes. This is because when communication is improved, treatment plans become effective. Patients are also encouraged to voice out their concerns, hence increasing treatment effectiveness. Also, there is reduction in health disparities across various cultures. So health disparities is actually lessened by facilitating understanding of various culture health beliefs, thus ensuring more effective care for diverse groups.
And so how do you think as a future leader we can facilitate this, Margaret?
So as future leaders, we can facilitate this by encouraging open and respectful communication about diversity-related issues. We can also encourage this by establishing clear policies and procedures to promote diversity, such as equitable hiring practices, and enforce this consistently. Also, celebrating diverse holidays, traditions, or achievements to instill appreciation of different culture. What about you, Marianne?
So for me, I think that some ways to facilitate cultural competency as a future leader, we must prioritize ongoing education and training programs that aim in sensitizing occupational therapists to diverse cultural norms. And also, I think that we need to create a workplace culture that values diversity and inclusion. And this involves fostering an environment where individuals feel safe, expressing their cultural identities, sharing their insights, and contributing to a collaborative and respectful team dynamics.
Exactly. So we would have some activity session. And then the purpose of this activity session is to promote culture awareness, sensitivity, and problem-solving skills among occupational therapists.
Here I will quickly mention about some benefits of this activity session that we're going to conduct. This activity is beneficial in a way that there is active engagement, because this activity promotes active engagement and participation. There is a real world application because occupational therapists can directly apply current cultural competency concepts to practical scenarios. And also for group learning, it will encourage collaborative learning and the exchange of diverse perspectives.
Okay. So for the steps of the activity session, our participants will be given hypothetical case study that involves clients from different diversity and background. So we will choose our audience a reverse background, making sure that the case study highlights culture factors that may impact therapeutic process. So occupational therapists, we will divide ourselves into small groups, and each group will be assigned a different cultural scenario or case study. So in their groups, they will analyze the case study by identifying any potential influences on the client's perception of health, well-being, and engagement in occupational therapy.
And so the first step will consist in a set of questions that we will be asking. And so those questions consist in like telling their like what cultural consideration should the occupational therapist be mindful of during the assessment and intervention process. And so after that, basically each group will prepare a brief presentation where they will summarize their case study analysis and responses to the discussion questions. And after that, each group will present their findings to each other. And so, yeah, we can move to the other one. We have a post-session evaluation form here. These questions in this form are designed to gauge your understanding of the presented material and encourage truthful reflection on the concept discussed. Please take some time to answer them. Thank you.
So to wrap up, if you have any questions, you can, or for more information and feedbacks, we have provided our email address for further questions and feedbacks. So these are our resources, and then these are our resources.
Thank you for watching the video.
Thank you.